Bonjour, wie geht's? Verstehst noch im Ausfahrbein. This is Greg for Tesla Fan Insight. Today's talk focuses on a concept called fail fast in Silicon Valley. What fail fast is about is the fact that one of the advantages Tesla has over other large auto companies is the fact that the executives and Elon Musk get together, and for sort of big ideas that would affect the company, they're often making small and large decisions that could affect whether or not the company stays in business long term. One example of fail fast I wanted to look at as an example today is there's a place in California called Harris Ranch. I will be referencing it in other videos. I think it's a fascinating place because it's sort of a testing ground for Tesla for kind of future rollouts in other parts of the world. At Harris Ranch, Tesla introduced they have a large facility for charging Teslas there because it's a midpoint between Los Angeles and San Francisco on I-5. If you go to that facility, you'll notice that there's a closed garage there, a picture of which I've put in as the thumbnail for this vehicle. And what happened inside that garage is there was a process that Tesla was using where it was taking a long time for the charge to occur. Sometimes with a line, it could be 3 hours there on busy Fridays or Sundays. And so Tesla decided to try a battery swapping technique that only took 15 minutes. So you would pull your vehicle in, test it for sit there for 15 minutes, and the battery would be pulled out of the vehicle, swapped for a new battery, and you're on your way. The problem that happened, though, was that customers were fearful of the condition of the battery that was replacing the one that they had, so they were willing to wait the long hours rather than get an unknown battery put into their car. Tesla shuttered this facility and no longer uses it, but they used the lesson of how customers responded to this to determine, whether or not to open the facility. The facility, both planning and execution, probably cost $2 or $3 million, plus it had to be staffed. And so there was money, time, and resources put into that solution to find out it didn't work. If we were in a big company, let's say a GM or one of those big guys, making a mistake like this could cost somebody their job. In the case of Tesla, part of the fail-fast process of the Valley is everybody puts their brain power in to come up with solutions for problems. If the customers love it and it executes well, fine. If they don't, it's a fail. You just fail fast and move on. So they did not put in a whole bunch of these around the world for them to fail. They did a sort of a test run. And so this is kind of one of the examples of why the Bay Area of San Francisco is an interesting place for customers to visit, because there are a lot of headquarters or corporate headquarter solutions that you'll see that do not exist in other locations that I think are really interesting, and this is one example. I also wanted to sort of look at this because Elon Musk and Tesla are unique in the fact that you can tweet the CEO, and if you have a legitimate gripe or concern, you theoretically could end up with a solution being provided for your concern by the CEO rather than having to wait to figure out if the corporation will ever understand the problem or consider creating solutions for that problem. Musk articulated the fact that smaller companies don't have the luxury of a large institution to under-innovate. By definition, the smaller firms have to innovate, otherwise they won't be able to create a space in the marketplace to exist. So I'm fascinated by the fail-fast concept because I really think it encourages owner-users to introduce ideas that might be adopted by the company, and those ideas could end up being solutions that end up being brought to many places, including your local, wherever you may be in the world, because that kind of responsiveness is necessary as we roll out a whole new concept in how automobiles work, etc. I think one of the interesting elements of this that I think is going to emerge over the next few years is solutions along the line of bringing portable power to vehicles that have lost their charge, because there's a serious issue there regarding running out of juice in the wrong place and then having to flatbed your vehicle, etc. There's a whole bunch of time and energy that's wasted. So I think that's an important sort of what's going to be done in that space in the future. Thank you very much for taking time out to spend time with us today. This is Greg once again for Tesla Fan Insight. Tschüss, macht's gut, au revoir, à tout à l'heure. Please like and subscribe, and look forward to our next conversation.